Well, Happy New Year, everyone. It's hard to believe that it's already 2026 and Nick's starting us off right here. I love this post. This is his first post from 2026, referencing the playbook, the dozens and dozens of processes that we've documented, trained to, tweaked as we have improvement ideas. And this is where it all starts. It all starts with training. We want to make things easy and clear how to do it the right way, serve the customer well. This represents dozens and dozens of processes that the team at Beasley have done, more coming every day from all kinds of departments. Love this post, Nick. Way to go. Next, we'll show the way Michael Moriarty 3S's his email inbox. Really, really cool. I think this is a great example of digital 3S. So 3S doesn't just apply to operations, it applies in the office. He keeps his inbox totally clear, so anything in the inbox category is new. He knows it needs to be addressed, and then he has a standard, a folder for where every email goes, depending on what department, who it's for, what it's about. He's got that all standardized in a way that's really easy to reference things later. Michael, you're killing it. Coda and Dre recognized an issue when walk-in customers bring back credits. We didn't have a process for that, and things would end up kind of in no man's land. You don't know who to get with. So they standardized the process with Duke and Jeff, the guys at the counter, so that everybody's on the same page of what information the warehouse needs to get that handled back in the system, et cetera, et cetera. So I love fixing what bugs you, Coda and Dre. Great job. Matt at the Magnum, the exterior machine, with a great example of lean thinking. So he saw an issue with hinge pocket specs on exterior was a little bit off, and the reference material for that to calibrate the machine properly was a few steps away. It was actually at the station, it just wasn't in the best spot. So he actually posted it on the wall so you have zero transportation waste. You can reference exactly what those specs need to be and make sure that we're putting out quality. Awesome improvement, Matt. Colin in service and install with a safety improvement. He recognized that this door going into the service and install office has full view glass insert in it, and that table right there has a sharp corner. So he put a corner pad on there so we don't risk breaking that glass if somebody swings the door open kind of hard. Love this improvement, Colin. Gentry with an improvement that evolved out of a really awesome improvement he made a few weeks ago. So he moved all the standard hinges to this rolling cart where he can scan them onto the cart. Depending on what he's using, he can move that right to where he's working at the machine. He can easily grab what he needs instead of turning around and walking back to that shelf. So it freed up that shelf, but he wasn't utilizing it for anything. He realized it was still labeled at the same bin locations. He removed those labels, put some 4-inch hinges and some oddball things that he doesn't need very often. So one improvement begets another. Awesome job, Gentry. So here's Michael Moriarty's favorite improvement of 2025. This is 40J. This is where all of the oversized windows and sliders go. So sliders, doubles, triples, tall windows, knockdowns, everything that won't fit on a standard cart goes in 40J, and it desperately needed some 3S. It definitely needed some sorting, so we got rid of a bunch of dead stock. We labeled everything better, organize the knockdowns so everything's clear, easy to grab the right thing. So some good standards there, and just a lot cleaner sorting by brand. Super easy for the guys to grab what they need, not have to sort through a bunch of junk. Love this improvement, Michael. Thanks for making it happen. A couple great examples here of the standard of excellence that the logistics team at Beasley is holding. Look at that presentation, and it's that good every single time. It's incredible. That's from Tez and Vontae. This is from Ryan. I love the orange straps. Keeps windows from blowing over. You put everything where the builder can easily see everything that's there. It's not in one big stack, so it's easier to get to everything. And this kind of attention to detail sets us apart in the market. Y'all are doing an awesome job. Matt in Beasley Production with a great example of putting the answer where the question is and how that eliminates defects. So this is the looper where we miter the casing before it goes onto the actual door units. And there's a lot of different settings based on the different types of casing. There's different size staples and the plungers associated with that, different sizes. And you got to make sure that you're grabbing the right thing, that the machine's set up for the correct casing, and they just put the answer where the question is here. So this list shows exactly what casing uses 5mm. They've got a list for 7mm and 10mm so that there is no question and we don't have those defects. Awesome improvement, Matt. Jumping over to trust side, another great example of putting the answer where the question is. This is the trust supervisor station, and we've got an ace in Davis who's been doing this job for years and years and years, knows it like the back of his hand, but when he's on vacation, like he was, we found an opportunity to eliminate some tribal knowledge, put the answer where the question is. So not every truss table is the same length, so they can't take the same length trusses. And so putting all that information of what is the maximum length truss per table gives somebody who isn't quite as familiar the easy answer, doesn't have to go find somebody and ask, doesn't have to measure the table, etc., etc. Just put the answer where the question is and keep things flowing so that value can flow to the customer. Great job, Umberto and team. Great safety improvement in wall panels. This is the special saw in wall panels, and we're talking dust mitigation. So big safety thing here when you're running this saw. It has a box to collect the dust that a vacuum's connected to, but it would still bounce back at you. The sawdust would just still attack your face. And so just putting those little plastic strips to keep that more contained so the sawdust isn't coming back at you. Great improvement. Great example of a Kaizen event. This is floor table 3. This is our newest floor table, and the way it's designed, it can do deeper floor trusses, but that eliminates some storage for plates. You want to easily be able to get to all your truss plates when you're building. You don't want any motion or transportation waste. So a group of smart people got together and maintenance built these little red bins that attach to the rail. They stay out of the way. The gantry can still move over them, but that gives them a spot to store those plates, and you can actually slide it to specifically where you're working, so there's zero motion or transportation waste. This is awesome. Well done, team. Great improvement from Zach. So Zach came up through the plant, got promoted into design, but in a very hectic week, jumped back over to help us out. Thank you, Zach. Came up with this improvement while we were over there. So when things that we have to tape seams on, like zip or this T-ply, before that tape gun you had to hand to your partner or throw it across the line, just put a wooden handle on there to make it super easy to get those seams taped, not reaching, hurting your back. Super simple. Way to go, Zach. When picking truss plates for floors, we pick them by batch, and we use these wagons to transport them to the build stations, to the actual tables. And for floors, we were picking the whole batch together and just setting them in the wagon right here. And that's not the way we'd done it for roofs. We picked them by profile so that the builders not having to sort through which plates go to which profile. Took that improvement and added it to floors so that now you see those pieces of OSB just separate the different profiles. Makes it easier for the builder. No sorting at the station, eliminates waiting, increases throughput. Again, let's value flow to the customer. Great improvement, Davis. Stephen and the picking team for the plant have done such a great job eliminating transportation waste, and they've done more of it here. So these are truss plates. They come in on these pallets, and we store them in the shed until they need to come in and restock the picking area inside the plant. And they were stocked on kind of the back side of the building over by panels. That's the opposite side of the building from where they're used. So they cleared some space out in this shed to start storing them a lot closer to the actual truss production side of the building, eliminating a bunch of transportation waste. Stephen, you guys are awesome. JC in the Truss Admin office, taking a page out of Nick Shelton's book and the team at Beasley. We want to document our processes to make training easy. We want to continually be training and reviewing. We do a lot of that in OneNote. For office roles, we can take screenshots, videos, notate stuff, and store that in OneNote so it's easily searchable to find what you need in a specific area, specific software, specific department. And so JC has started building that out for the Truss Admin processes to make it really easy to train people, put the answer where the question is. Thank you, JC. Another one from JC showing how he can save clicks. I view saving clicks as saving motion waste in the office. So here, a bunch of buttons to select on or off, and there's a button to select all or deselect all. So when you're doing that, not having to click each individual one, but click them all off and then just click the one on that you need. Saves a bunch of clicks, motion waste. Awesome job, JC. Emiliano on the Murfreesboro yard with a great visual control that absolutely saves 2 seconds. So this is the hangar area. You see the product codes labeled there, but the arrows, I view that as an awesome 2-second improvement. So it saves 2 seconds of you seeing that code and going, ooh, which shelf is that on? Do I look up or down? Do I grab up or down? Saving that 2 seconds, huge win. Way to go, Emiliano. Team at Beasley occasionally needs pallets, but they didn't have a spot to store them. Ryan found dead space that could easily store the handful of pallets that they need. Really cool, Ryan. Way to go. Here's a great improvement from Jonathan in design. So we're running into steel beams more and more often in custom houses, and then obviously it's a very common thing in commercial where we're having to work around steel beams, and we've got to get those sized correctly in the system. And before, it was a manual process, converting decibels to fractions and having to do it all manually every single time. And now the team has incorporated these into our material list so that we can easily grab them and plug them in. Saves the design team a ton of time just by putting the answer where the question is. We want to make things simple and easy. Jonathan, this absolutely does that. Great improvement. Big win for the Signal app here and letting good ideas spread. Destiny got inspired by what you guys are posting and decided to 3S the storage area for our Husky Experience Center. Here's the before and after. Looks awesome. Great job, Destiny. Antonio and the team at Mount Juliet moved the location of this banding station to save them a ton of transportation waste. Having all of our inventory and resources in the right spot is a massive key to eliminating waste, saving time, again, letting value flow to the customer. This is awesome, Antonio. Thank you. Here's one from Colin on the Tiger team. And first, let's just all agree we absolutely love the Tiger team. They are such servants, making anything happen. They're keeping our facilities looking awesome and in good shape, as well as just jumping in wherever they're needed to get us through a tough spot. They're all over the place, all 4 locations. Tiger team, Lance, Bobby, Colin, you guys are incredible. Colin, I love this one. So he removed some shelving out of his van and hung up the guns because that was less motion waste. But the guns were banging against the side of the van as he drove down the road. So he just took some foam, took what he had, right? Use your head, not your wallet. He took some foam and stuck it behind the guns, so no longer that banging and clacking as he drives down the road. Fix what bugs you. Awesome job, Colin. Antonio rounding us out in Mount Juliet with an awesome visual control. So one of the things on the lumberyard that's really important is first in, first out. You want the oldest inventory of a stock item to be what's going on the very next order, and the newest stuff to be in the back. And so with 2 rows right here and a cone signifying, hey, don't pull this row. This is the newer row. Pull the older stuff. Keeps everything flowing first in, first out with just a very simple visual control. Antonio, great improvement. Incredible start to the year, guys. A ton of amazing improvements. I love that you're making things easy. We want to eliminate struggle at any opportunity. And there's a lot of simple ways to do that. Putting the answer where the question is, visual controls, training. Saw all of that represented here. You guys are awesome.